TechTimeRadio.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of turbo debt?
Now, what is that, something to get me into debt faster?
No, turbo debt is not to get you in debt faster. It's to help you get out of debt. Do you have over $10,000 in credit card, personal loans, medical, or payday loans?
Of course I have debt. That's the American way.
Au contraire, mon frere. Turbo debt will give you the option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
Over 70% of Americans die with credit card debt. Do not let this happen to you. Turbo debt will give you an option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and personal loans, medical, or payday loans, they can help. Go to turbodebt.com/techtime. Again, that's turbodebt.com/techtime, all capitalized, for a free consultation today. TurboDebt is a proud sponsor of this week's episode of Tech Time Radio.
Broadcasting across the nation, from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology, while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts, as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time Radio. I am your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mr. Mike Corday, who is out for today's show. So we have Mr. Gregoire filling in for us. We're excited to have everybody. We welcome our radio audience of course, 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. Each week, our show covers the weekly top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on the side. We are live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host, a technologist with 30 years of technology expertise, working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. Our whiskey connoisseur, Mark Gregoire, is filling in today. He is a senior executive with a 30-year record of establishing and implementing and refining cutting-edge solutions to address business needs and optimize opportunities in the print business. He's a skilled whiskey drinker and is our go-to pick-of-the-day experts. We are friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Sorry Mike couldn't make it, but after the whiskey you brought him last week, I think he decided not to show up.
Oh, is that what it was? That stuff was. Go back to episode 169, and if you've ever wanted to have whiskey that tasted like a barbecue grill on fire and grease, then you can listen to our reviews of that whiskey. That was some of the worst stuff we've had all year. All right. Welcome, everyone. Now, let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, we're going to be talking about tons of stories that we have on the list today. We are going to be talking about invasions into cars that just came on out. Missoula has a brand new nonprofit report regarding cars. We have Mark in here that's going to be talking not only about one story, but 2 stories today that we're going to be talking about. So that should be exciting. Are you excited to do? We got 4 stories in our main topic. So
I know, a lot to talk about.
We're going to have lots to talk about. We have Gwen Wade joining us on our gadgets and gear. So she's going to be talking about a new gadget that I think you guys are going to be very interested in learning about, especially if you like to listen to something in the evening. If you go to bed and you kind of have like this ability to listen to music, this tool may be something that you're going to want to have taken care of. And then we're going to be talking about some of the new Apple releases. They had on our Nathan Nugget, they had a release today of their big Wonderlust show that they did. They put it on out there. That was their tagline, and they had millions of people tuning into this, telling about new products that they're going to sell. So I just can't believe it. It's like the JCPenney's catalog on steroids, and we just are going to
No,
sit there
Sears
and listen.
catalog.
Or the Sears catalog. But you did the
that's-
Sears catalog. You didn't do the JCPenney's catalog?
Sears was the big one for many, many years.
My parents were a little cheaper, so I got the JCPenney's. It was like, it only had like 2 or 3 pages for toys, whereas the Sears had like a lot of those pages.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, in addition, of course, we have our technology fail of the week, which is going to be very interesting, and then our Nathan Nugget we were just talking about. As always, though, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting during the commercials to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1. Is your car the worst invasion of your privacy? A new report has everyone scared, and people are now buying 10-year-old cars. The used car market, after this report came out late last week, the used car market has already increased 15%. Now, they don't know if it's necessarily because of this article, but when we go through this, it may be because of this article. Let's go now to ABC News out of New York on this breaking story.
A privacy nightmare. That's what a nonprofit group is saying about new cars and the data they're collecting on drivers.
They know your driving habits. They know how fast you drive. They know how quickly you stop and how quickly you start. And the list goes on and on.
Experts say the data could be used by insurance companies to determine premiums. It's information not hard to get, according to a new study released by the Mozilla Foundation. It found that cars score the worst for privacy among a dozen apps and electronic devices studied. 19 of the 25 popular car brands say they can sell drivers' personal data, and half acknowledge they'll share your information with the government or law enforcement if asked. Researchers say those fancy gadgets in newer cars like cameras, microphones, and apps could all be collecting data on you. And the study found 84% of car companies share that information with other businesses. According to Mozilla, Nissan's policy says it can collect sexual activity, health diagnosis data, and genetic information for targeted marketing purposes. Nissan responding, when we do collect or share personal data, we comply with all applicable laws and provide the utmost transparency.
We're astounded when we saw that they could collect information on things like sexual activity and sex life, but could get no answers on how they actually might be doing that.
So how can you protect yourself? Some car companies give you the option to opt out of data collection, but warn that may impact functionality. Experts say with no federal laws in place to protect consumers, you need to do your homework.
Consumers overall, very little control at this point of what's being collected and therefore what's being sold.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, this is. I've spent a lot of time doing the research on this. This is scary. Got 25 car brands, so it was a little bit longer of a news article that we ran than I was going through, but there's so much to cover here. So 25 brands. The report is called Privacy Not Included Report. So you can just Google that anywhere on the internet, Privacy Not Included. The car brands researched are terrible at privacy security settings. This opening sentence of the report says, forget using any new car to have confirmed private conversations with anyone. They collect all the data and information that you would not expect to have collected regarding your personal vehicle. So that's the very first line of their subjects that they start their report with. So let's talk about too much information. So all of them, essentially, when you purchase a car, you now sign a user agreement. And this user agreement allows them, when you go to purchase a car, before you had to sign all the paperwork, you cannot purchase a car if you do not sign the user agreement. So if you're going to, let's say you want to buy a new Tesla, you want to buy a new Chevy, you want to buy a new Ford. I mean, this is Honda, this is the major car corporations. It's not some podunk unique person, but these are all the major car manufacturers. The very first thing you do is you have to sign a user agreement before you purchase the vehicle.
I'm almost speechless on this one, Nathan. This is pretty impactful. So, especially the BS that they said in the news article, how they comply to all the legal requirements. Yes, because they create this legalese and they make you sign this probably 20-page document where you don't even have a chance to read it. To buy the car, they just scroll it in and say, sign here.
Correct.
This is how you're going to get your car, or this is how you're going to get your GPS signal. not realizing that you're waving away.
So it's very interesting. Sirius XM comes in a lot of these vehicles. Google Maps comes in a lot of these vehicles.
Right.
Now, have you ever remember the OnStar? You ever remember the OnStar
absolutely.
navigation? So let's say you have an OnStar in one of the new vehicles and you choose not to subscribe to the service. Well, if you have OnStar in your vehicle, they can listen to anything that you do at any time that you're using the vehicle because it's in that system itself. So they can decide, somebody behind the OnStar backend can decide for entertainment purposes that they can just turn on and they could listen to any conversations any of their systems are hooked up to. So you sign, first of all, this. No one is buying a car yet asking, show me the privacy statements, right? I mean, there's a show me the Carfax for a used car. There's show me this, but no one really has paid any attention to that until this report comes on out. 84% of these essentially sell your data. So this is kind of like the side hustle of each of these type of deals. Not only are you buying a vehicle,
So
but
it's not if, it's when then, is what you're telling me.
correct. 85 already share and sell your data. They've already completed 84% of all the people or all the vehicles that they evaluated in this 25 collection of manufacturers that they did their event about. You got to go and read the document. The document's huge. And when
Right.
you read the document, it gets tons of
But
information.
can you explain the point where they said that if you don't sign this document or if you say you don't want your data sold, that things may not operate correctly? How are them in the back end selling your data going to stop functionality in your car?
There's only one company that allows you to opt out, and that you'd be surprised at who that is. It's Tesla.
Okay.
No, but when Tesla, so everybody else, so if I want to buy a new Chevy and it has these features, I don't have a chance to opt out. I can't choose not to sign it. If I want to buy the vehicle, I'm signing it. Tesla is the only one that opts out, but with their opt out, their warning says, here's exactly what it says. I have it right here. Tesla's information that they have here, it says, this is the option to remove data. If you no longer wish us to collect vehicle data or other data from your Tesla vehicle, please contact us to deactivate connectivity. Please note certain advanced features such as over-the-air updates, remote services, and interactive with the mobile application, and in-car features such as location search, internet radio, voice commands, and web browsing functionalities that rely on this connectivity will no longer work. So
they're saying it's all or nothing is what it sounds like.
That's what Tesla's saying. But they're the only company that allows you to even opt out. Every other company says that you need to give them the information that's available to them. Now, the consent is very interesting because when you actually look at the consent of what they're given, they're getting information like fuel efficiency. They're getting information of what you do, what you eat. When you stop, it can track you, your GPS location built into the vehicle itself, registered to the owner. It can create a map of where you go so that they can then sell that to targeted audiences to get information that you have. Now, Toyota.
So why are cars so expensive? They're making so much money probably on this.
Correct.
Why are the cars so expensive now?
So most of these policies are 2 to 3 pages.
Yeah.
But now let's say you wanted to buy a Toyota. You're going to get 12 pages. You get 12 pages of legalese on what they can do with the information. And they don't even meet the minimum security standards with encryption at rest for your car data. So Toyota has this big 12-page type of deal. The other ones, they're unknown on how much of the encryption of your data is at rest. So at rest meaning when I turn my car off, it's no longer going, and the hard drive is built into the vehicle itself. Does that mean the information on that hard drive, is it encrypted so that if someone came and stole it or got the information out of it, they wouldn't be able to read it? A lot of the manufacturers have multiple hard drive, flash drive setups that are available in there, and they absolutely do not include that they have their data encrypted at rest. So if I could put another flash drive into it, I could steal your stuff.
So not only are they not, so they're knowing what I'm eating, that secret hamburger.
Yep.
They know whether when you and I go in the car to drive somewhere, if we're smooching or not.
Yep.
We can't stop them from selling our data because we can't buy the car then. And on
Correct.
top of all that, they don't even protect the data in any way, shape, or fashion.
That is
Do
correct.
I have this correct?
That is correct.
So it looks like
And
I
there's
won't be
no
buying a new
standards.
car.
There's no safety standards in the automobile industry because they haven't regulated for any of these standards at this time. So now you have all these companies that just came out on this report.
Mm-hmm.
And Missoula, a great report. Now they're all going to go and fight legislation to probably not get it so that they have to pay penalties or that they have to have that data. So now this whole industry, so you can't buy a car unless
How
you
is
go.
this not breaking many privacy laws that we currently have in the U.S.?
Well, because you opted in when you purchased the vehicle to sign all your rights away with all your privacy while you use this vehicle itself.
Read here type legalese.
Yep, and right here, sign here. Well, you don't want to. So I'm going to go. I want to go to a car dealership, and I want to. There's one. There's a.
Of course you do.
There's
you
a
click
Ford
all the
dealership.
links. You want to go do this.
I'm going to go. Yes, because I read tons of this information. I want to go down to our local Ford dealership, and I want to get really close to buying a vehicle and say, okay, well, I'm not signing the privacy. See what the salesperson does. Is he going to go back there and actually call headquarters and say, hey, this guy isn't signing the privacy? Is he going to say, oh, well, don't worry about it, we'll remove it? What is he going to actually do if I'm trying to buy that vehicle?
My guess is they can't remove it.
I don't think they
So
can.
they're either going to be upfront with you and honest,
Yeah.
or they're going to be that sleazy salespeople that we make fun of, and they're going to lie, cheat, and steal somehow to make you sign that.
Yep, to have it taken care of. All right, well, there you go. Let's move on to
Just real quick before
Yeah.
we move on, because I know we have short on time, but I wonder if the two backlashes, besides you make actually three backlashes. One is possibly people can get so upset they're going to try and make laws to regulate.
petitions. The
So
biggest
hopefully
thing.
something happens on this because privacy is getting out of control here.
Yep.
Number two, you're going to have people like us that are just going to go back and go for our old cars.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, a 10-year-old vehicle.
the ones that had soul in them.
Yeah.
And then number three is you're going to have the hackers possibly coming in to help us. How can you hack the system to get your features but not send the data?
So, since this report has been out,
Yes.
well, we could talk lots about it on the dark web, but I've done some searches, and let me just tell you, compared to a lot of other breaches that are very tough to get into, the over-the-air activations and some of these tools that they use is so primitive and so outdated in the car manufacturing area that hackers are saying that this is like an easy pickings of information, but they're going to have to target specific people so they can actually get the information they need. Otherwise, just a
But
common
hackers may
person-
actually help, just like in some of when technology was first being introduced, you had people that were making chips to make the car go faster. So you could have the black market chips to actually put your motor.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or if you listen to our episode 5 weeks ago, you can talk about the Tesla hack, and then you can hack away.
Oh, my
All right,
gosh.
you're up.
Oh, yeah. So you want to know how to see a newly discovered green comet this week before it vanishes?
Well, tell me about it.
All right. Well, meet the new comet, Nishimura. It's a newly discovered green comet zipping by Earth, visible for the first time in more than 430 years. So the last time it was seen was before Galileo even invented the telescope.
Wow.
So nobody probably even saw it because you need some kind of telescope or lens in order usually to see this particular comet.
Okay.
So this is the first time probably that any human will be seeing the comet. Now, the comet was discovered by an amateur Japanese astronomer, and he first spotted it by taking a long exposure shots using Canon's digital camera and a telephoto lens. Okay. And this is amazing that he spotted it with all the automated telescopes and all the people studying the sky, that an amateur actually found this comet in this day and age is astounding. Now, do you even know what a comet is? Besides a flying thing in the sky.
Okay. A comet, it's like Halley's Comet. That was back when I was growing up. Right. We spent a lot of time looking at that.
You know another comet, but what are comets?
Isn't it like a bunch of particles that are all trailing together type of deal?
Yeah.
Okay. I did okay in my science class.
It's a little bit like IKEA.
Okay.
So when you put something together at IKEA, so in the beginning of time, there was some leftover debris. Just like IKEA, when you build something, you have leftover stuff. And that stuff just floats around space all the time in a frozen chunk. When it comes by a sun, it melts, and that's the trail that it leaves behind it. Once it melts, the debris and the dust and the goo and the junk kind of trails that comet.
Okay.
So right now, it's only visible in the northern hemisphere, so that's probably good for most of our listeners, except for the couple of you that are
in the
on
Boston
southern
area.
Yeah.
Well,
no, the southern hemisphere.
Or southern. Okay.
Southern hemisphere. So we're all Boston is in the northern
okay, that's
hemisphere.
right. We're in the north. That's right.
Yep. So you just get up early in the morning, look on the eastern horizon, very low. You probably will need a telescope to see it. Best time to see it was actually this morning, but tomorrow won't be too bad either.
Okay.
Look towards my favorite constellation, which is Leo, and you should get a decent view of that. Now, you won't see the bright green because this far, and probably the telescopes that amateurs have, it'll just be this blur of white.
All right.
You only see the green in the high resolution photos that they're distributing. Those are pretty cool to watch.
And it was founded by a young individual, isn't that correct?
Yep, Japanese
individual.
Japanese amateur that discovered it with his camera and telephoto lens.
That's fantastic. All right. Okay. Yeah. Now, moving on to story number 3 here. All right. Facebook is trying to get the word out, so you do not fail for the Facebook Messenger phishing targets that are hitting over 100,000 businesses' accounts per week. All right. We're going to go to Emily on our CNBC report regarding this concern for small businesses.
Talk to us about these apps, what happened, and how people can protect themselves.
Thanks so much for having me, Emily, and appreciate the opportunity to talk about this report. Today, we released some research into 400 malicious mobile applications. They were designed to steal Facebook login information. We also know that these scammers constantly adapt to detection by app stores, by researchers. We felt it was important for people to have tips that they can use, both to keep themselves safer on our platform and also to stay safe across the internet so that they know what to look for if someone's trying to target them with an application like this.
All right, so this is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
so
explain that a little bit more.
So Facebook came out today saying that they are actually on a campaign to educate individuals to make sure that essentially what they are looking to do is no longer click on Facebook Messenger solicitation. So Facebook Messenger is, again, it's like the chat feature within Facebook. Businesses are getting tons of these alerts that are saying you have a copyrighted image that you decided to post. You have something that is illegal that you've posted. We're going to take your account down. You need to contact us because we have concerns regarding the copyrighted material that you put as your business.
Right.
Comes across Facebook Messenger as looking like a legitimate Facebook information. They have links there that actually go back to the Facebook terms and condition policies. So if you click on it, it's the right link to go to the information.
All the links except for the link to bring you to where you need to talk to
it
somebody?
It says we would like you to issue a complaint into an arbitration council. We want you to log in with your Facebook username and your login password. And when you log in with your Facebook username and your login password, you're giving it to these individuals. And then what they're doing is they're immediately going into your accounts and they're disabling items, which are essentially setting your accounts not available for you to get back into it. So it's a delayed process because it's an arbitration. Now, they respond to you within 2 to 3 hours, saying we're taking a look at your information, coming through the Facebook Messenger app again. So very legitimate looking, very legitimate links. But the key to this whole thing, and Facebook is trying to get out there, is Facebook is the slowest customer service company in the world. So first off, they're not proactive in anything they do. So that takes them anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks to respond to a standard service request. They're absolutely not on top of things, unlike other companies where they're instantly taking care of it. So they're not going to be the one to send you an information.
Right. My understanding, even if you do get taken down on Facebook or banned or put on temporary suspension, they just do it. They don't even really notify.
Correct. They're not going to get into an arbitration area where you're going to make the decision of that. They're going to actually just do it immediately and then have that issue be resolved at a later time. And then what you do is you have to contact them and they just put you off saying it's not going to work.
So Facebook is actually going out trying to educate people.
They
now.
are. They're
actually trying to do a good thing here?
Well, they're trying to say...
Where's the other
Well, what's
side
interesting
of
is this compromise that's going on out essentially downloads a zip document into your browser. And it actually creates a document called document.zip. It sends the stolen information to the attackers via Telegram or Discord bot on the API. So essentially what's happening is you get this attachment after you sign in and you give your password. They then respond to you within 2 hours. They give you this zip file that you need to do to open up to fill a document. And you're kind of thinking that it's legit because a lot of the time that it took wasn't instantaneously. It's a little bit delayed. What happens is once you actually download the document.zip, it actually goes through all of your internet browser, all of your cookies, and what it does is it copies all your passwords that you save on your internet and sends it out to the individuals themselves. So essentially what happens is you need to make sure you're not using any of your browser's passwords, saving any of those browsers, because it's taking those documents, sending it out to a third-party Discord server. getting that information and allowing companies to essentially get compromised. I just worked on an individual for a major corporation, a lending company across the United States, that his personal computer was compromised, and he actually clicked on these links, and what happened is his business lost key information. So very legitimate out there, very looking like it's coming from Facebook, but Facebook is warning you, do not respond to any of that information that's there.
This seems a little bit, I mean, you do, or we do a letter segment every so often. And
Yep.
I know when we first started that about 2 years ago,
Yep.
It was a lot of fun and funny.
Yeah.
But lately, they seem to be getting fairly serious and very much harder to detect.
They are, and they're making more and more logic with some of the AI stuff that's out there. So they can now have an AI bot create a much better grammatical sentence. They can have some information in there, and so they're now including, instead of it all being fake, they're including 90% of it being kind of truthful, and then they're getting you on that 10% that is not the truthful aspect of that, to have what's going on.
So they're not coming from the Prince of Nairobi anymore.
They're not. Those are long gone. All right, let's go to story number 4.
Well, I don't know how much time we have, but I have a little story to tell you. So sit back and relax a little bit.
Okay.
So, a few years ago, 2017, at Facebook's headquarters, an engineer, Tomer Levand, sat in a conference room with a smartphone sitting on the brim of his baseball cap, tied together and anchored in place with different rubber bands. Absurd-looking hat. Reminds me of the old beer cans that people have on the side.
Yep.
And he just sat there because he had a big presentation to do, but nobody knew what it was about. And what he could do was remarkable. So a handful of men in the room were laughing and speaking and being excited, and he just kept going back and forth, looking at each one of them and just smiling, not saying anything, but recording them. And then they decided to go and start the demo. As it started, he turned around without blinking, looked at one of the other gentlemen, and the little cyclops eye on the smartphone said, "Zach Howard."
Zach Howard, okay.
And the gentleman looked up and said, "Yes, that's me." And then he started looking at every single person in the room. And then he did not know these people. And it started calling out everybody's name.
Okay.
And one of the other engineers in there said, just looking at this and watching it, it felt very creepy, felt like something out of a dystopian movie. And so pretty much what they had developed at the time at Facebook, and as we'll learn soon, Google also at the time, was facial recognition. And both these companies, these large tech companies, decided not to release the technology as is or was at that time because too many ramifications. I mean, we had Facebook had already done that for some tagging of photos, just to help people with their photos and their binders. And with that, they had a class action lawsuit. They lost a $650 million lawsuit. And so the technology was kind of stifled. Now, here we are years later.
Okay.
And you have Clearview AI, which you have talked about, and PimEyes, which you've also talked about on this show, which have pushed the boundaries of what the public thought was possible with releasing face search engines.
Okay.
Even these are semi-benign.
Okay.
Where you drop your picture in there, it does a search throughout the web, and it can pull up your different social media, reveal your name. Can even find risky photos, risque photos of you, and I've done searches for you on that before.
Yeah. Have you seen me down in the Miami outfits?
Ooh.
Oh, no. I just wish. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But, these startups had done what the technology giants hadn't. They released the technology on a public platform, and it's really not a technical decision to be made.
Okay.
It's really an ethical
one. So do you think Google and Facebook are going to then release out, if they had this information for the last 4 or 5 years and they've been kind of sitting on it because we're all too scared as a nation maybe on some of the stuff that's going to happen, do you think they're going to release it?
Yes.
Okay.
With I think it's going to come out. Nobody ever wants to be left behind, so they sat on it while they had it. But if other people start releasing it and AI is coming forward, I think you're going to see this being released.
Okay. It's going to be an interesting deal because some of these scanners, they're getting pretty good now. They can scan people and track them and follow them. And then you now have these augmented reality glasses that are coming on out. And we're going to be talking about augmented reality in the new a Switch 2 that secret information got released
That's
on the
right.
specs for that. So they're not going to have the new Switch 2 that's going to have an augmented camera built into
What's
it.
sad on this is like all technology. The good that this could have done for those blind and many other applications is tremendous to help further humanity. And yet what always happens is it gets used for nefarious affairs.
That's a shame. That's a shame. All right. Well, we're going to head out now. We had a little bit of an extended deal. Since we don't have Mike's mesmerizing moment, we decided to do 4 good stories. There was a lot of great stories out there. So we're going to head out to a commercial break. When we come on back, we're going to have Gwen Wade joining us on our Gadgets and Gear segment. So you absolutely do not want to miss out on this. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. See you after this commercial break. Hello, listeners. We're excited here at TechTime Radio, aren't we, Mike?
Oh, no.
We have an announcement to make. We are so excited to be a part of the new launch of iTalk Radio Live, the internet 24/7 streaming service. You will still be able to listen to us live here at Kixie 880 and KKNW and all of our affiliate stations, but you'll be able to listen to us at 8 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now. We look forward to this new opportunity to provide you TechTime Radio every weekday. And again, you can always catch us online at techtimeradio.com. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, our weekly technology show talking about current technology in a simple facts without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break. Now, Mark, what are we sipping in our show today?
We have a special one today. If anybody out there, you astute listeners and viewers, if you are a whiskey connoisseur, make sure to stay for Mark's mumbles on this one. But for right now, we are drinking Wild Turkey 101.
All right.
12 years.
12 years. Okay.
12 years. So from the back of the box, which we have the beautiful box here, I'll be taking the bottle out a little bit later and we'll display both of them, but I wanted everybody to see the box first. It says, born from the father and son distilling genius of Jimmy and Eddie Russell.
Okay.
Wild Turkey 12-year-old Distiller's Reserve is a Kentucky straight bourbon of the highest character. This special release has been carefully selected from the distiller's favorite reserve, barreled at a lower proof, and slowly matured to create a bourbon of exceptional quality, with notes of vanilla, rich caramel, hints of spice, and a long chocolate orange finish. Wild Turkey 12-year is a showcase of the world-renowned craftsmanship of Jimmy and Eddie Russell and brilliantly reveals the bold and distinctive character of Wild Turkey bourbon. So this is released from, of course, Campari Group, which owns Wild Turkey Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. It's a straight bourbon, 12 years, 101 proof. Most of that you could tell by the title anyways.
Yeah.
It's 75% corn, 13% rye, 12 barley. And it's roughly, it's only sold overseas. We'll be talking about that later. It's roughly $70 depending upon exchange rate at the time. Secondary market in the U.S. is $175 currently for a 700 milliliter bottle.
Wow. It's really smooth, though. Really smooth. No bite. I get no bite at it.
So us whiskey connoisseurs hate when somebody says smooth. That usually means crappy whiskey.
Really? No, I like a smooth taste.
Let's just say,
Okay. It's very, what do we want me to very earthy?
Character.
Is it an earthy taste? What do you want me to say?
You can say it's very well balanced.
Oh, balanced. Okay. All right. Well, with our first whiskey tasting complete, let's move on to our feature segment. Today we have Gwen Wade joining the show. She's an expert in cybersecurity during the day and a game board geek in the evenings. Producer of TechTime Radio and our Gadgets and Gear gal. Let's get ready to start our Comcast video stream to start our next segment.
What's new in our Gadgets and Gear?
All right, Gwen, welcome to the show today. How is your company dealing with this Facebook Messenger scam? That's the first question I have off.
First question is love your hair. It's different.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Nathan.
Okay, I love your hair.
Went with it.
Okay, Gwen has different hair colors like every time she's on. So I mean, that would just be it. Okay, all right. So tell us, how are you guys doing with the Facebook Messenger scam? Have you guys seen that yet, Gwen?
We've seen it a couple of times. The biggest thing that we've told people is, just like you said, Facebook does not move this quickly, and they are not going to reach out to you via Messenger.
Isn't that the saddest thing to say? That's what I tell people. First off, Facebook is a free service. They're never going to return your call within like 2 to 3 weeks.
No.
So don't get excited about it. They're like, oh, well, we thought they were actually really concerned about us. Like, yeah, no. Okay.
The other thing that we suggest is actually go to the Facebook help page if you get one of these messages and think it might be real. It's not, but if you go to the help page, they'll actually give you proof that it's not, so everybody will believe you.
There you go. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. All right, well, we're going to get on to our gadgets and gear here. Now, it's very interesting because we talked about this subject. So my wife is listening, and she's, I think, going to be very, very interested in this device itself. So tell us a little bit about what you found on Kickstarter. Tell us all about the product, and then I got some questions on this.
Sure. So this is actually something that I am personally interested in, as is my husband. We recently moved out of Seattle proper, and suddenly things got much quieter, and we can't sleep because it's too quiet.
It's too quiet. That's I butt up against the freeway. I kind of have the same thing. I like that white noise a little bit. So okay,
Exactly.
I hear you.
Exactly. So what I found on Kickstarter is something called Oslo Sleep Buds, and it's OZLO. And basically what they are smart earplugs, if you will. So rather than just putting the normal earplugs in and hearing nothing, what these can do is, when paired with an app on your phone or tablet, they can actually counter any noise that does come up. So it's giving you sound waves that actually block sound, or it can play, a fan, rain, the ocean, whatever makes you calm down.
Okay.
ESPN?
It can actually. It can play any podcast that you listen to. I don't know, maybe TechTime.
Okay, of course.
Not maybe, that's for sure.
That's absolutely. You're subscribing to that, listening to that.
That would put you right to sleep.
Oh, wow. No, we don't want to say that. No, that keeps you awake. That's the problem. Okay. All right. So how many different earbuds or different sleeping devices have you looked into before looking into this product? Because my wife has the traditional headphones. She kind of sticks them in her ears. She sleeps with them in the middle of the night. I swear she listens to like Harry Potter books all night long, and then she goes to sleep. And
me too.
So how have you kind of evaluated this towards other units?
So I've actually used a couple of different things too. I use earbuds, kind of like what I've got in right now. I have tried just the plain earplugs that block everything, but then you have trouble waking up in the morning. And at this point, I just play something quietly on my iPad. My husband kind of deals with it at this point, but this would allow us to each play whatever we want to, or even play nothing and just block the sound out, get enough sleep. And also, I know you're going to ask this in a minute, but it does have an alarm feature.
It has an alarm feature. Now, this is kind of
that's nice.
So this is kind of this is what I guess and I don't listen to, so I fall asleep just myself watching this stuff, and I have my earbuds in, and then my wife will kick me or nudge me and say, hey, wake up, and I just put my earbuds away. But
yeah,
a lot of the earbuds that you have, like if you have yourself a iPhone setup, you're going to have your phone available to you.
Yeah.
Now, does this built-in process require that you have your phone hooked into this, or how does this alarm work with these earbuds?
It does work through an app. It can be on your phone. It can be on a tablet, whatever you want to work with.
Okay.
So it does actually communicate with that. Once it's set up, though, you put the earbuds in, and whenever you decide that you're ready to wake up, it will play a tone that only you can hear.
Oh, so it plays it doesn't vibrate. It's a tone?
It vibrates. It plays a tone. You actually have a couple of different ways that you can set it up to wake you up so that it's what you prefer. But it's quiet. It's only to you, so it's not going to disturb your partner or anybody else. It would even work in a plane, and you wouldn't disturb the person sitting next to you.
That's great, because I wear this little wristband, and I don't really track anything, except I use it as an alarm to wake me up in the morning so it doesn't wake.
And see, my wife keeps her watch on because she has to always keep track. Now, does it have analytics, so it knows when you're waking up, when you're not waking up?
Does
it have
it actually,
in the app?
Yeah, it's in the app. It tracks your sleep. So the actual earpiece knows when you fall asleep and it tracks, okay, he's moving more than normal, or hey, she's talking in her sleep, something must be up. And then it actually compiles all of that in the application and you can take a look at it, see what sounds work better to help you fall asleep more quickly and sleep more deeply, or see what you need to do to kind of shake things up.
All right. So this is located. Where's this company located at again?
They are out of Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. And what was their goal was? It was like 30,000 type of deal.
And they're over 1.1 million at this point. So they've
1.1 million people have backed this.
Wow.
Exactly. So you have
now they've made a product for Bose. This company actually made a product for Bose. I don't know. So I was doing a little bit of research of this because my wife was kind of interested in this type of deal. So they made a product for Bose. This is like their Generation 2 product, but they decided to not partner with Bose and go out on their own company themselves. Some of the people were asking, hey, can I trade my old Bose speakers in? And the poor guy said, no, you can't. This is a brand new device that we're coming on out with. So they have expertise making this already a Generation 1 version. So this is their Generation 2 version.
Nice. Now,
exactly.
Now, Gwen, I got a question for us side sleepers. So that's always my problem. Is, late at night, I have my headsets in, I kind of fall asleep by accident. But then when I turn on my side, I wake up.
It either falls out or it pushes further in.
Correct.
And it's uncomfortable either way. This is actually made to take that into account. It's actually got a flat profile externally. And it's got kind of an umbrella-shaped tip. So it goes in, blocks everything on the inside without leaving major things on the outside that are going to bother you when you wake up. There's also a little loop in there, so you can just reach in and pull it out easily. You don't have to worry about it getting lodged. It works for side sleepers, too.
And it protects your ears from spiders crawling in them at night. That's
definitely the number one concern.
Yeah, that's a big concern for some people. Let me just tell you, there's like a big concern with spiders crawling in people's ears. So you get this, it covers your ear, keeps you safe at night too. All right, there you go. All right. Well, Gwen, we are really excited about it. Where can I find this again on Kickstarter? What is the name of this again?
Go to Kickstarter. They are the Oslo Sleep Buds. OZLO. They're the first thing that comes up when you enter that in. And I highly recommend this one for sure.
All right. We thank you so much for being a part of our show, Gwen. Thank you so much. And we always look forward to every second Tuesday of the month because she is a vital part of what makes this show great each week. All right. That ends our segment, Gadgets and Gear. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side. We'll see you after this break.
This is Mark.
And Greg.
For Copiers Northwest.
With a terrific offer.
Called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
As long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to September 10th, 1990. Archie search engine, the first internet search engine. Now, let's talk about this. The first internet search engine, not internet web search engine. So there's two differences. This is a search engine that was collecting information on the internet. The first internet search engine, Archie, was launched. It was used to index FTP archives to make finding files easier, created by Alan Emtag, a postgraduate student of McGill University in Montreal, Canada. However, as the technology for the World Wide Web was not invented until years later, this was the first web search engine in the aspect that it took information that was posted on FTP sites, collected all the information, and people then search for those articles and information. The name derives from the word archive with the V, and contrary to popular belief, this was not associated with the Archie comics. Despite this, though, other search technologies were created at the beginning of the internet called Jughead and Veronica that were named after the characters of the comics themselves. The earliest version of Archie would be simply searching a list of public anonymous files on FTP sites. So let's kind of explain what FTP is. FTP still exists today. People use it all the time.
I just used it yesterday.
You just use it yesterday? Essentially what it does is when you have a computer on the internet, one location, and a computer at another internet location, this is like dragging a file in your Explorer over from one folder to another folder, but instead of doing it from folder to folder on a computer, you're doing it from an FTP address, which is an IP address, and you're dragging it on over to another FTP site, which is another computer on a different part of the network that has an address itself also. So this is kind of like cut and pasting information from one computer on the internet to another computer on the internet. It's been around for FTP's existence, goes all the way back to 1965 when they actually had FTP sites where you could copy information back and forth with the United States secret services and government entities that were in place. So there you go.
I got one question before we sign off on this.
Okay.
Did you ever use Archie?
Did I ever use Archie? I don't think I did. Did you use Archie?
Yeah, it makes me feel old.
Did you use it?
I am older than you. So.
But I did use Usenet groups. And Usenet groups used a lot of searching algorithms of FTP files that were posted. So I probably used a version that somebody edited with a little bit of a graphic interface for that. I'm sure is what I did. So, all right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to see some Tech Time history, with over 2 years of video, podcast, blog information, you can visit us at techtimeradio.com and watch our older shows. We're going to head out here, and when we return, we have our Mark's Whiskey Mumble Whiskey Review and our Technology Fail of the Week. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Well, it's great to be in studio for this. I love being in here.
You know what? I'm drinking a much quicker of your whiskey. Your whiskey, you're taking a lot longer.
I'm savoring it.
As you're savoring it?
But more importantly, before we get to the whiskey, what's today? What are we celebrating today?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know your list. I have looked to find your list of where you get your crazy stuff. What crazy day is today?
Oh, today is National Ants on a Log Day.
Ants on a Log Day.
Yep, celebrating that protein-packed snack that everybody loves. First named in the 1950s. Do you remember? It's celery coated with peanut butter, topped with raisins.
Wow.
Ants on a log. I didn't like it because I didn't like raisins.
I'm not a raisin guy at all.
And
either.
I don't eat peanut butter still to this day.
Okay.
But half the kids always had it as snacks.
So this snack now has an official day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't mind celery. As a matter of fact, I kind of like celery.
I like celery too.
I'm not a big celery though. I like it with cream cheese. I don't know if that's really
blue cheese.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's really the use of it because you're supposed to celery is like a no calorie type of deal, and when you put your calories in there. But all right,
let's talk about the whiskey.
Let's do that.
Those that have stuck around and listening to this are going to get a special treat today.
Okay.
So since today is the 12th of September, I brought something that's 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
So I brought in Wild Turkey 12-year, which is back finally, sorta.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. It was first released in the 80s in the U.S. and the Japan market and has slowly transitioned to Japan only. Sadly, in 2012, production was discontinued. So after a 10-year hiatus. Thank you.
That's all right. I'm here to correct all of the English words that need to be corrected.
Wow, when somebody's worse than Nathan, oh my God, I'm going to get razzed by my wife tonight on that.
All right.
But it's very exciting to have this whiskey back.
Okay.
So the downside, it's only being released back into the markets of Japan, South Korea, and Australia, as far as I know. I was lucky enough to get a bottle from a friend that had visited South Korea. Shout out to Justin. He's a pilot in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Fantastic.
Now, what a whiskey this is.
Okay.
The only negative I have is you have to go overseas for this American bourbon. The nose is rich and powerful with caramel, vanilla, cherry, oak, spice. As you sip the sweet nectar, I get chocolate and oak together, and that just makes this wonderful combination. Finally, that mouthfeel is lush and velvety. If you do get your hands on one of these bottles, make a note that the neck pour is very muted. So when you first open it, very muted, so-so. It needs time after being opened to become the bourbon it's meant to be.
Okay.
So I opened this, was disappointed, let it sit for about 3 weeks, came back to it, and was like, oh my goodness.
And now this is fantastic. This is great stuff. All right. You know, nothing's better than pairing whiskey and technology, kind of like pairing Woody and Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. Right?
Oh, I'll take that one. That's a good
That's
combo.
pretty good. You know, Toy
like
Story
that one.
5's coming on out. They're going to remake another one, so who knows what goes on here.
Technology fail.
All right, let's move to our technology fail of the week.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure. Oh.
I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Hey, have you ever gone to Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been at the MGM Hotel?
I have.
All right, well, if you're checking into the MGM Hotel, currently right now, the MGM Resort website is currently unavailable. And if you go to their site, he said, we apologize for the inconvenience. You can call our hotel at a reservation. You can get a hold of us for our attraction at Ticketmaster.com. Or if you want to see the Golden Knights or something, please give us a call at axblablablah.com or visit us at 866-761-71111. So MGM is down.
Anybody under 40 is not going to be making reservations if they have to call.
So MGM's shut down because of a cyber attack. Oof. This is not the first time, though, MGM's been taken care of. This is their second time where they have been completely shut down. Another incident happened in 2019 where their cloud services was breached and the hackers stole more than 10 million customers' records. But the best part about this right now is you never know where you may go with your room keys, because guests are reporting that room keys don't always work for their rooms, but it may work for somebody else's rooms down the hall. So if you're in the MGM type of deal and you got your card key with you, just start visiting all your friends and neighbors and see which doors can open up. If you're also looking
Make sure to always wear a towel if you're at the MGM.
If you're looking to make any reservations, you can go and talk to their concierge desk, and their concierge desk will tell you that they can't help you, and you need to call a 1-800 number. MGM restaurants and services to the fail. There we go. All right, don't go visiting your MGM Rewards app either, because that's no longer working, and those points may not be accumulated during your visits. All right, let's now move on to our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, we got the Apple Wonderlust event that was broadcast today. If you want an Apple Watch Series 9, you can go and get a new one that will be available with the new Siri request now available. Those prices will be at $399. If you got a double tap gestures, which are being added to the phone so you can answer them. The iPhone 15 is coming on out, and guess what it has? It only has USB-C. So the Lightning chargers are thrown away, no longer going to be taken care of. Essentially, the industry is not happy with Apple because they're not increasing any of their prices. They're keeping the consumer prices down at the standard rates they currently have for their new products.
So who's not happy with this?
Well, the industries are not happy, but the consumers should be happy with a smile.
Very happy.
They can
I'm
get
happy
new
because I have to buy
technology.
one for my older daughter.
There you go.
So
there you go. Have it taken care of.
right.
All right, now let's move to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right.
After last week debacle, I wanted to bring in a nice one for you. I was hoping Mike was going to be here, so sorry we miss you, Mike.
Yep.
But I brought in Wild Turkey 101, 12 years.
This is fantastic.
It is an overseas release only.
Thumbs up. All the way. I'm a big thumbs up. Odie, what did you think?
You know, I haven't had a whiskey in a really long time. I'm glad that I finally jumped in for this one.
It
was worth it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
The taste was good. You know, I don't understand the smooth thing, but it was smooth for me. What's so bad about that?
Yeah, I don't know either. It was very smooth. I thought it was easy to drink, and I like that.
I'll explain the downside of smooth off the air.
On the air when we go to our
Yeah.
post-production event. Okay, there we go. As we go and as we recap each of our shows.
But did you give it a thumbs up? I'm
Oh my
assuming you
gosh!
did.
What was you giving?
So 3 thumbs up all around.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Three thumbs
You
up.
couldn't tell by my Mark's mumbles the way I described it.
I was still
Sweet nectar.
Ants on the log is still
official-
killing me.
Yes.
I'm still trying to figure out how that's an actual day itself. Wow, that's interesting. All right, well, we want to thank all of our listeners that joined our program today. You want to venture over to techtimeradio.com and always click on the upper right-hand corner to be a caller for our TalkBack recording system. You can ask us any technology question, and I'll talk about it on the air. So if you want to get your free technical support, forget going to Facebook. Come here and decide to go there and ask a TalkBack. From all of us at Tech Time, it was an honor to be the host of today's show.
And thank you for inviting me back here to co-host
Always.
with Mike out.
Always.
We always go long, the two of us.
Thank you for the whiskey, though, Mark.
You're
That was
welcome.
good. Now, as we leave you this week, remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. Now, you're supposed to say bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
There you go. I see everybody next week.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.